And I'm back. And I'm gonna need you to bear with me for about maybe a minute. China's business community strongly opposes the United States overstretching the concept of national security and hindering bilateral economic trade exchanges. The China Council for Promotion of Internal Trade, CCPIT, said on Monday. Yeah, China business community strongly opposes the United States. They really do. They strongly oppose the United States. And also, China unveiled the CR450, the world's greatest, fastest high-speed train, reaching 450 kilometers per hour. Yeah, you may be saying to yourself, DW, why are you talking about this? Stick with me. Just stick with me. Don't go nowhere. New. China police out in force after anti-lockdown protest. China has a protest going on. The police are out making sure that people in China can't do what they want to do. Breaking. China unveils world's most powerful spy camera capable of identifying faces from space with quantum leap imagery technology. China. Breaking. President Trump says Chinese President Xi is a great friend, and they're negotiating a new trade deal that is fair to both the U.S. and China. China. Bear with me and hit this like button, and we getting into the news. Hold on one second. We about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we doing over here, baby. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the real news. Do I give a damn about China? No, I don't. But the algorithm seems to be a Chinese lover. So it seems like in order to get the algorithm to activate for me, I got to pretend like I like China. For the record, I don't give a flying flip what goes on in China. I don't live in China. I live in the United States of America. Secondly, I don't care about this pale Chinese woman that's on the screen right now who looks like she was generated by AI. That is not a real human being, but nonetheless, this is what they put out for the news. Let me get into the things that I want to talk about now instead of China, which, by the way, we love China. Breaking. House Speaker Mike Johnson said that Elon Musk is inside the federal agencies with new algorithms crawling through the spending transactions. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure I don't have no crumbs on me. Let me tell you something. All this anti-Doge, we halting Doge from going into the education data. We halting Doge from going into all this and all that. These people are running scared because the last thing that the deep state and the bureaucracy needs is for the American people to see the truth, because you can lie to them all day long, and their grip on the lies is falling apart, as we see with Lester Holt and Reid and all these people getting chin checked because the stations are losing money. It's no longer profitable to attack Donald J. Trump and in turn attack America. And be specific, it's no longer profitable to attack white America. Because that's what it all was. It's like, yeah, we going to demonize all the white people. Yeah, that's all they want to do. We're going to demonize everybody with light skin. And that's all they was doing. If you was white, you wasn't right. If you was black, they told you was back, but they was really telling you get back because they wanted to bring in illegals. They was fooling everybody. Black against white, Asian against black, Asian against white. I mean, it was the largest psychological operation that America has ever seen. It was a foreign occupation from occupied government that had taken over the United States of America. And now we're seeing the undoing of it, and people are losing their minds. And I love it. It's okay, ladies and gentlemen. Let them lose their minds. They need to be broken. So here's Mike Johnson talking about what's going on. Excuse me, Mike.
And the Congress, who could have oversight. The problem is, for decades, as we know, we haven't been able to do that job well, because even though we requested the data and requested the insight, it was hidden. How many of you know that bureaucracy was not forthcoming, right? They're not transparent. That's the whole point. That's the problem. That's the deep state we talk about. So they were hiding from Congress. We didn't know that USAID was funding drag shows in Peru or whatever, transgender operas in Colombia or whatever, It's madness. But Elon has cracked the code. He is now inside the agencies. He's created these algorithms that are constantly crawling through the data, and as he told me in his office, the data doesn't lie. We're going to be able to get the information. We're going to be able to transform the way the federal government works at the end of this, and that is a very exciting prospect. It is truly a revolutionary moment for the nation.
Now, who doesn't want to know where their money is being spent? If you watching this video and you got a problem with knowing about where the money in America is going, when this rebate and this refund comes, I want your $5,000. Straight up, give me your $5,000. And I want you to commit in the comments that you say, well, GW, I can't stand Donald Trump. Give me your $5,000. In fact, from now on, ladies and gentlemen, in the Dark Waters family, the Stankonians, if anybody talks negative in the comments, I want you to reply to them, can we have your $5,000? And I promise you that if they give us their money, I'm going to give you a cut. I'm giving you 0.001% of their $5,000, but nonetheless, it's a cut because I'm going to have to divide it up amongst everybody. Everybody going to get 5 cents, but that's 5 more cents than you had in the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? So let's go on to the next thing. I want to talk about this because I said it and nobody seems to understand. They like, DW don't know what he's talking about. Here is a plane. Delta passengers were evacuated using the slides at Atlanta International Airport on Monday after a haze of smoke filled inside the plane. I said it on my video that you cannot have your industries getting all your technology from your biggest rival, which is China. You can't do it. So you can't get all your plane parts from China. It's not possible, because if this is what's happening to commercial planes, what do you think would happen if we had a war with China? And they said, oh yeah, we got all these back doors. Let's hit this button. Buzz. You do realize Chinese is the Chinese Communist Party, which means it's ruled by the government and everything is owned by the government. The government. Ask Jack Ma about it. Anybody seen Jack Ma lately? Y'all remember Jack Ma? Hold on. Jack Ma, the Chinese billionaire that said the wrong thing. Jack Ma. Oh, pull it up. Jack Ma. Where's Jack Ma? Remember this guy right here? He was all over the place. Yeah, Jack Ma was all over the place. Last post, 2020. Jack Ma. Remember him? He was all in America, all this. Then Jack Ma said the wrong thing. And it was like, slap. What happened to Jack? It's been 4 years since Jack Ma made a post. 4 entire years. You wanna know why? Because Jack Ma is in the hole in the ground somewhere. Is where Jack Ma is. Yeah, that's where Jack Ma is. And that's the nation that we get all our stuff from. So of course, when we see this plane filled with smoke, which quite frankly, everybody is too damn calm for me. If I'm on a plane and it's filled with smoke like that, I'm sorry. They're just sitting around on my phone. Excuse me, flight attendant, when in Sam hell are we getting off this plane? Well, sir, we're trying to figure out, no, ma'am, you don't understand. The plane is on fire. I know you see the smoke. It's on fire up in here. It's burning hot. We on fire. I'm starting to rap in there like 50 Cent. The hot boys, we on fire. No, let me off this plane right now. I'm not sitting there like this. They probably texting mom. I'm on a flight from Atlanta to New York and there's fire on the plane. There's smoke in the cockpit. No, that ain't what you do. I'm live streaming y'all. I'm like, hey, they won't let me off this plane. Look at this smoke. Y'all see this smoke? And I tell them, I say, hey, pilot, flight attendant, you with Delta, right? This Delta? Y'all gonna let me off this plane because I'm gonna let everybody know Y'all smoking us out like Snoop Dogg in here with us. And this ain't marijuana smoke. This is electrical smoke. And I'm live. Hey, man, they trying to kill me up in here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And then I'll be talking about the people. Look at these people. Look at these docile sheep in here. Just sitting here on their damn phone. What is wrong with y'all people, man? Yeah, you don't want me in no situation like that. I'm a little bit touched. Remember that TV show Touched by Angel? I'm touched. Benny Johnson, the one and only, out in the streets with the protesters. And these are the anti-Elon protesters, which means they were people who worked for the government who got fired because they weren't doing nothing. Let's see what Benny. Wait, Benny, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect you, Benny. I ain't mean to. Now, Benny, let's see what you asked these people, Benny.
Elon Musk were here right now, what would you tell him?
Go back where you come from.
America or
Where he came from.
South Africa?
South Africa?
South Africa, right?
Oh, gotta go.
Go back to South Africa where he belongs.
Go back to South Africa.
Go back to South Africa.
Oh, they want him to go back to Africa. That's pretty racist. Yeah, that's racist. Go back to Africa. I wish I was asking a question. Oh boy, I have him in a trick bag. I'd be like, would you? I support Elon. Do you want me to go back to Africa too? Do you want me to go? Are you telling me to go back to Africa? His liberal brain would just shatter. Wait, he's a black man. I can't tell him to go back to Africa, but I can tell Elon Musk to go back to Africa. And I'll be like, you racist. I just break his brain.
He's not a citizen. He came here illegally and
The billionaire came here illegally?
stayed, then got citizenship, I believe.
He believes.
So go back to Africa.
Go back to Africa.
What would you tell him?
He's an unelected, greedy, selfish bastard. And please go away. Nobody elected him. Nobody voted for him. We don't want him. He's a racist and he's a Nazi. This is not what America is about. That's what I would tell him.
You said
She better not say go back to Africa. She better not say go back to Africa. She better not. I'm out the clown.
you said to go away.
Yeah.
Where would you like him to go?
Go back to South Africa.
What?
His grandfather left Canada to specifically go to South Africa because he loved his the racist policies of South Africa. Go back to South Africa.
Go back to
As
Africa.
an immigrant, telling another immigrant, go back to where he came from, because I am not trying to change America for the worse. I'm not a greedy, selfish person wanting to take everything for myself. Somebody who has $404 billion is going to go into Social Security and tell my grandfather or my disabled cousin that $800 a month is too much, and you have $404 billion that you will never spend.
How you get to this nation as an immigrant and get this damn dump? You need to go back to Africa. Yeah. You about to maybe go into my Haitian voice. You need to go back to Africa. You need to carry your black ass back to Africa with the blue eyeliner. Why? What? You black as midnight. Why you got blue eyeliner on? Where they do that at? You need to carry your behind back to Africa, or wherever the hell you came from. You may not be from Africa. You sound like you're from the Caribbean somewhere, like Haiti. Go back to wherever you came from.
In your lifetime, go, hey Elon, shoot yourself into the sun.
Elon?
Yeah, she Jamaican. Shoot yourself into the sun. Yeah, she Jamaican. Go back to Jamaica, lady. Yeah. Go back to Jamaica. Talking about I'm an immigrant. Trick, I was born and raised here. I don't want you here. I wish they stopped letting all them bastards up in here at this point in time, because everybody take it for granted. You come in, you take a little test, you get your little ID, and then you're like, yeah, I'm an American citizen. And then you get all the benefits of being American, and then you turn into a liberal butthead, bumhole, and then destroy the whole nation. Don't have no damn sense at all. Get weaponized. Now watch this. The great Ron DeSantis is saying that he's going to abolish property taxes. Let me tell you something. Beautifulest thing on the planet is if he could pull this off. Because you pay all the taxes in the world. You don't pay no damn property taxes. That ain't even constitutional. Yeah, ain't nowhere in the Constitution that says you're supposed to be paying no damn taxes or property taxes. It ain't constitutional. And I said before, guys, the power is going back to the states. What's this in my pocket? Hold on. I got money. I get money. Money I got. It's not constitutional, man. And this is what needs to happen all over America. And you want to know why? Because there's going to be competition among states. As power goes back to the states, there's going to be competition among states. And the states that don't have no property taxes, no state taxes, guess what? Everybody and their mama going to live there. So all the people in California, they'll have to leave their liberal hellholes where fires and floods are raging. And they'll say, well, we coming to Texas. We coming to Florida. And then they'll try and vote and do crazy stuff. And they'll get overturned and get mollywopped and get red pilled.
Subject their citizens to higher taxes, such as higher property taxes, to pay for these spending habits. And you know, these property taxes, it's like you buy a home, you buy land, you know, maybe you buy the home outright, but maybe you pay off a mortgage over 30 years. And then, okay, you've paid off the mortgage, you bought the land, you've been taxed many times. It's like, is it your property or not? Just for being on your property, you got to write a check to the government every year. So you're basically paying rent to the government to live on your own property. And our homestead exemption is not strong enough to help these folks.
It's never been strong enough.
The property gets assessed so high. And that's the thing. If you buy a home for $300,000 and you know there's certain tax, well then what? 10 years later, they say it's worth $700,000. And so, and they say, you know, there's homestead stuff that helps protect you to a certain extent, but you're paying more.
You don't.
And
they don't help
you.
You
Can't afford that. So I think that that's a big issue, and I know we're going to be really looking at ways to bring people relief from that, because I think it's been really something that's pinching a lot of homeowners.
Don't be a landlord where you own multiple properties and you got to pay all the property tax. It's ridiculous. When I tell you it's absolutely ridiculous, I mean, the amount of money you got to set aside from rents alone to make sure that you can pay property taxes is down payments on other houses. It's crazy.
Particularly seniors on fixed income. But the reality is people have seen, and this is not the state, we don't control this, you know, we've not allowed any of that stuff to happen. We've been cutting taxes, but people have seen their property tax liability go up over these last years because the property is being assessed higher and higher. And the reality is you don't really know how much your home is worth
until
someone offers you money and is willing to pull the trigger on a sale. That's how a market works. You can say it's worth this much, but if no one's willing to come and offer you that much, then why should you pay taxes on that amount? And so there's a lot of things that need to be done with that. But as part of our DOGE initiative, our state task force will look into local government expenditures by utilizing publicly.
See, DOGE is going to the state level. And watch as DOGE goes worldwide. You got to understand, a worldwide DOGE movement means the complete and utter decimation of the deep state. And don't think there's not a bureaucracy on the state level. Yeah. I suggest to you that it's even more entrenched on the state level than it is on the federal level. Yeah. Everybody know about state employees who don't get fired, and they've been on a job for 50 damn years, 60 years. I got this job when I was 19. I've been working for the state since I was 19 years old. Yeah, I got a good retirement. I got all this. Yeah, you want to get you one of them government jobs. Yeah. Now, it's okay if you got a government job and you're producing something, but we get to the point that ain't nobody producing nothing. Now, here's little Macron right here. Macron right here with the president, trying to look tough. You notice Macron won't sit with his legs spread. He won't sit with his hands between his legs like he's strong. He won't look like a man right now, because he next to men, so he's feeling a little manly right now. But when he go home, go back to his castle, he gonna be with his man wife. Yeah, he gonna be with his man wife, doing all kind of wicked things, nasty things, appalling, abominable things is what he gonna be doing. But in the meantime, he right here in the White House with the man and the other men. And so now he tough. Now, this is a question they're asking Donald Trump about DOGE, because there's been this contention over DOGE over this weekend, because Elon sent the email out saying, hey, tell me what you're doing at work. And Trump explains why the email has gone out. And when you listen to Trump's explanation, you'll understand why it makes all the sense in the world. So we're going to let Donald, the one and only President Trump, explain it to him, Donald.
From more streamlined communications, there was that email telling employees to give 5 things that they've done last week. Agency has then told people to ignore it.
You're talking about the last email that was sent where he wanted to know what you did this week. You know why he wanted that, by the way? I thought it was Great. Because we have people that don't show up to work and nobody even knows if they work for the government. So by asking the question, tell us what you did this week, what he's doing is saying, are you actually working? And then if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you're fired, because a lot of people are not answering because they don't even exist. They're trying to find, that's how badly various parts of our government were run by, and especially by this last group. So what they're doing is they're trying to find out who's working for the government. Are we paying other people that aren't working? And, you know, where is all this? Where's the money gone? We have found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud so far, and we've just started. We're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there, because maybe somebody stole the gold, tons of gold. So I think it was actually, there was a lot of genius in sending it. We're trying to find out if people are working. And so we're sending a letter to people, please tell us what you did last week. If people don't respond, it's very possible that there is no such person or they're not working.
Now, I want you to pause for a second and think about how simple this is, right? Let me make sure I'm in the center of the screen because I slid down to get comfortable. I want you to think about how simple this actually is. Let's say everybody who watching this video is a federal employee and you've been at home and you've been working. You got your laptop. Let's say you in Peru. You know what I'm saying? You on the beach. You work from Peru. And they send you this email. You switch to your VPN, show that you're actually in wherever your house says it is, or you log into your computer from wherever you are, your home computer. All you gotta do is reply to the email. And you make the first cut. You make the very first cut by just saying, hey, thank you for the opportunity to respond to this email. My name is blah, blah, blah. I've been working here for the past 15 years. I'm responsible for doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This week I've done A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Next week my plan is to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They're going to get that email, look at that email and say, okay, this person is actually doing something. But think about how pervasive the fraud must be in order for them to have to send out an email to get people to respond, because they don't know if the people exist. I mean, think about that for a moment. They're not sure if the person on the employment roster actually is a real individual who exists. And then they showed you the massive fraud with Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. And so it just tells you that there are probably entire offices that are straw offices of people that don't exist, where that money is going into that office via a line budget, a line item in the budget, that all that money is being embezzled somewhere. That's what Donald Trump is telling you. But you get people like the little Jamaican girl talking about, you know, he needs to go back to Africa. He needs to go back to Africa because nobody asked him to be here. He need to go back to Africa. You need to go your behind back to Jamaica. Now, Joy Reid, this is probably the most pleasurable thing on the planet.
My show.
Joy Reid having a meltdown. Now, this is the thing about bullies. Let's be clear, ladies and gentlemen. This thing right here on the screen, Bullet, she's been a stellar bully. If there was an award for bullying, this woman is a racist bully. Now, some of y'all gonna look at that black skin because you're black and you're gonna feel sympathy for her because you got similar skin. No. Don't worry about that skin. That's why y'all get in trouble in the first place. You're always looking at somebody's skin. You be like, they look like me. No, she ain't like you. He told y'all, they not like us. They not like us. They not like us. He tried to tell y'all that none of these people not like you. But you don't want to listen. What's that rapper name that sing that song? The little one who was at the Super Bowl, you could barely understand what he's saying. You can understand the hook. Kendrick Lamar. He told you these people not like you. They ain't. So when the waterworks come on, in the sad face, oh, I'm such a victim. They violated me because I'm a black woman and I'm bald headed, and I got and I got lizard neck. She done been on the news for 20 years being a racist. Straight up, 20 years. Now, put a white person on the news for 20 years being a racist. Put an Indian person on the news for 20 years being a racist. Anybody on the news, on TV for 20-something years, and let's say it hasn't been 20, let's say 10, How many years should a full-on race hustler be on TV? Is 1 year enough for you? 2 years? 5 years? 10 years? 20 years? How many years are you willing to accept that? Yeah. So let's hear what she got to say.
My show had value, and that I'm sorry. That that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I think this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize.
No, your show didn't have no value. You ain't had no value. If it had value, you still have a job. Yeah, you have a job. You know what you did? You decided that you was going to be the #1 race hustler on the planet. And you went so far down the road that you lost who you is. And now you going through the judgment, and you got to find out who you are, sister. Take some advice from the Stankonia. You going to be all right. This is the best thing that ever happened to you. Now, what you need to do is just disappear for a while. Just go on, cry, drink a whole bunch of wine, get drunk, relax. But see this right here? Don't nobody give a damn about this. All this gonna do is make it worse. Let's finish listening to what she got to say.
And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted, and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life, and defended them.
Okay, so you first generation American. So you just told us, this explains your liberal retardation. So you just got here, your parents just got here, and then they had you, and you decided you was gonna be a hardcore liberal. So you one generation removed from the appreciation of being a United States citizen. Yeah, because your parents came from some other country. Is that what you saying? So you trying to tell me that y'all came from some other country, got here, and then within one generation you turn into this?
Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues.
She ain't learned no lesson. See, this is the thing about cry bullies. They never learn a lesson. This is amazing to me. This is the moment where if I was advising her, I would say, hey, Joy, first of all, don't go on there and make excuses. The best thing you could do is you already been embarrassed. You've already been canceled. You already been fired. Now, remember, Joy, you called for a lot of canceling and firing of a lot of people. You promoted it in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. You promoted these things. So remember, Joy, this is what you've been doing. And you're experiencing what you're reaping what you sowed. You're getting your harvest. Now, Joy, don't worry about everybody else's perception of you, because you can't change that. There are going to be people who like you, and there's a lot of people who hate you. You just came to the realization that a lot of people hate you. So what you need to do, Joy, is you need to sit down and look in the mirror and say, am I satisfied with who I am? Do I need to reinvent myself? Because this version of me is not working for me. Because clearly this is failure. But you see, right now, what you're hearing is pride masking tears. Tears masking pride, but it's pride. Listen to it.
And yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not
pride
sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that
Can't be a church girl and be a racist like y'all, girl. That's not how. What church you go to? Church of Satan? Church of Satan?
I was taught were of God, and so I'm not sorry. I'm just
What God? Oshun or something? Because what you saying don't make no sense.
proud of my show.
Yeah. See, that's the problem. That's the problem with these people. That's the problem with these people. It's pride, and as long as that pride is there, it's a wrap. Now, this was something that I thought was very interesting, and I'm gonna go ahead and say, see, America is back, because the conversations prior to the election was all about how having children was bad and how things need to be done to the children before they get here, right? And then we spin and we get to the point to where at the Pelicans game, there's a baby race where babies are put in the spotlight. And that was one of the things that was amazing. Elon Musk and his son going into the White House, the bringing back of the understanding of the importance of children in a nation is amazing. Because America got to the point to where, children were detestable to people in America. Don't believe me? There's a lot of cat women and dog women running around. And they'll say the dog is their child. The cat is their child. Now, I'm going to tell you, quite frankly, it ain't really the cat woman and dog woman fault. It's a cultural shift that happened that led them being born into an environment of feminism to where children have been viewed as a bad thing. But their motherly instincts give that they want to have something or someone to take care of. But that feminism has isolated them from men to where men ain't trying to be bothered with your crazy feminist behind because you independent. And so what you do to get that love, which is what all mothers want, is you get a dog and you get a cat. And I know we make fun of dog women and cat women, but it's really a sad scenario for them. It really, really is. And I know we make fun of them. And it's a terrible thing to do when you truly understand what psychologically was done to them. Each generation kind of got an iPhone upgrade in their mind. And the programming that went to each generation was based on TV and movies and radio and politics. And so many times when you see somebody, you see the result of the programming that they came up under. Just like the programming right now is, bull rings in your nose and multiple earrings in your ears, and it's the programming they came under. But here we go, a baby crawling contest, and homie here goes left and wins. Watch. So the whole stadium celebrating babies. The whole stadium celebrate babies. A wonderful thing. Babies. The whole stadium celebrating babies. America's back. Yeah, America's back. She back. She is 100% back. And I think it's important that she come back because she was just being throttled. Decimated. And I'm happy. I couldn't be any happier. I want to get to Zelensky, where he's talking at recklessness. There was something else that hit the news, how the Philadelphia Eagles decided they were going to turn down the invitation to the White House. I want you to know that's the dumbest thing that they could have done, but it is what it is. Yeah, they have the right to turn down whatever they want to turn down. I wouldn't have done it. Stupid. But they got the right to do whatever they want to do.
We're on time with the tariffs, and it seems like that's moving along very rapidly. We've been mistreated very badly by many countries, not just Canada and Mexico. We've been taken advantage of. We were led by, in some cases, fools, because anybody that would sign documents like they signed, where they were able to take advantage of the American people, like has happened over the last long period of time, except for a little 4-year period that took place 4 years ago. But anybody that would agree to allow this to happen to our country should be ashamed of themselves. No, the tariffs are going forward on time, on schedule. This is an abuse that took place for many, many years. And I'm not even blaming the other countries that did this. I blame our leadership for allowing it to happen. I mean, you know, who can blame them if they made these great deals with the United States, took advantage of the United States on manufacturing, on just about everything. Every aspect that you can imagine they took advantage of. I look at some of these agreements, I'd read them at night, and I'd say, who would ever sign a thing like this? So the tariffs will go forward, yes, and we're going to make up a lot of territory. All we want is reciprocal. We want reciprocity. We want to have the same. So if somebody charges us, we charge them. It's very simple, but it'll be very good for our country. Our country will be extremely liquid and rich again.
I think it's interesting that he holds this conversation with Macron, little Macron right there with him. I can only imagine what was said to Macron, and I can only imagine what's about to be said to Keir Starmer when he gets to America to meet with Donald Trump. I think Donald's going to bully them. And I like the fact that my president is a bully. Sorry. Some people are like, well, he's a bully. Yes, I want a bully for president. I want somebody that's going to bully the other nations to leave me the hell alone. I'm sorry. If you don't want a bully to protect you, the biggest bully on the planet, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I just don't. I don't know what to tell you. I do not know what to tell you. I'm looking for the part where Zelensky says that is here. Where Zelensky said that he, that America didn't. This Negro right here, he going to prison. See him? That Negro going to prison. I don't want to touch on them because they're crazy. Zelensky, where you at? I said to you guys that Zelensky was going to F around and find out. And Alex Jones disclosed in his Alex Jonesy way that when the head of the Treasury Department went to go meet with Zelensky, Zelensky was basically high and coked out and fell asleep and left the man waiting. So the man waited hours for him. And then one of his generals came out and met with the head of Treasury. And there was a deal that had to be cut in that moment in time right then and there. Because you notice, Jones came out and said, well, Zelensky needs to leave Ukraine before his generals whack him. And I was saying prior to this, just looking at the back and forth that Trump was having with Zelensky and with Putin, I said that Zelensky was on his way to basically getting Arkansaded, or to getting Saddam Hussein, or to getting Gaddafi. But see, the difference is I don't think Donald's going to get his hands dirty. I think he's going to let their own people deal with them. And so Zelensky's here, and he's coming out, and he's trying to stay active. And this is what you need to understand. What he's doing now is he knows he has to talk. So he's saying everything he can say.
If you can't give us some financial support, okay, please, give us a credit, and we will give you back money.
Я знаю, що у нас було 100. І це факт. Я не збираюсь визнавати 500. Хто б що не говорив, як би ми не спілкувались. При всій повазі, ще раз, при всій повазі до партнерів, але, я стійко стою, тому що це правдива ситуація. Абсолютно ми праві. І друга ситуація, якщо чесно, навіть 100 мільярдів я не готовий фіксувати. Поясню чому. Тому що ми не маємо визнавати гранти як борги. Подобається це чи не подобається? Я домовлявся з Байденом і домовлявся з Конгресом Сполучених Штатів Америки. Я вдячен Конгресу. Це була присутність двох партій і підтримка.
So basically he's saying he ain't going to give up nothing. He's saying he don't recognize the 500 million as a debt, and he don't 500 billion as a debt, nor the 100 billion as a debt. So basically he's saying we ain't giving y'all nothing. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, Zelensky is going to go bye-bye. You got to understand, Zelensky is going to go bye-bye because something's clearly wrong with Zelensky. And I personally believe that someone has him between a rock and a hard place where he's going to go bye-bye either way it goes. Because the parties that are involved in this, he has no good landing place. There's no golden parachute for Vladimir Zelensky. Nah, there's no place. Clearly there's a shadowy group behind him telling him, hey, if you don't do what we telling you to do, you're going to die. You can't keep fighting with Russia, because the only reason why Russia ain't just blew Kiev itself up is because of the international pressure and how the other governments will get involved. You can't, you keep playing games with Donald. Donald and Putin is sitting having conversations. The walls is closing in on this man. And so when you see the news that, you know, Donald Trump believes that he's going to have an agreement, the war will come to an end within a week, you know that something's coming down the pipeline. Let me see if I can find it. For example, here we go. Trump, Macron vowed to work together on Ukraine. Now, of course, he came to see Trump. Trump said, you're going to get your ass in line. And that's what we see coming down the pipeline. As more and more people come to sit down with Donald, and he starts to peel them off and let them know what the punishment is going to be for continuing to fight this Ukrainian war, Zelensky's life becomes even more and more endangered. And he can keep this hard stance if he wants to, but I don't see him getting out of it. There's no way for him out of this situation. Secret Biden policy fast-track illegals through airport security lines. Of course it did. Of course it did. Klobuchar, Trump voters' remorse is building. I don't have any voters' remorse. Klobuchar. I don't have any voters' remorse. I'm actually enjoying and love what I have going on right now. I love what I'm seeing. The only remorse I have is that a lot of you people haven't been put in prison. That's what that's the one thing that I resent, is the fact that you guys haven't been arrested. I think he's being too nice. I think he's being way too nice. This right here is going to be interesting. Likely German chancellor rejects Trump, accuses U.S. of Russian-style election interference, calls for independence from America. This right here, this dummy, is going to be the next person to mess around and find out. Now, I showed you guys a video, maybe it was earlier today, yesterday, maybe it was earlier this 12 noon today, where we were talking about the German women and what was going on in Germany and how they were being pursued by migrants and attacked, basically, and harassed in their own country. You see, if the Conservative Party that took over Germany, or plans to take over Germany, does not get on board with what the world is seeing as the MAGA movement, they're going to be destroyed. So this guy right here is going to be decimated. Decimated. Because the German people are not going to stand for their women and children being harassed the way they're being harassed in the streets. It's not going to happen. So he can betray the German people if he wants to, trying to fight Trump and having Trump derangement syndrome. The price to pay for that politically is so steep that you're not recovering from it. You're just not coming back from it. All right, guys, I'll be back in an hour with the next video. I'll be back in the morning with the next video.